Basically, this will be your main camera. That's our auxiliary. So,
up?
folks, humans, and things.
Yeah. Folks, humans, and things. Great.
All right, so this is Gear Time with bands today, and we're talking to Killed Lights.
Yep.
This is Brandon and Brian.
Yep.
So yeah, you guys care to tell us how you guys? How long has Killed Lights been a band?
Going on 4 years now. For the whole first year, we were kind of silent, kind of building up what we wanted our sound to be and how we wanted to portray our band in the scene. And then it's kind of been like, past couple years, it's been just kind of pushing out the same album that we worked on that first year, and here we are. So, yeah, it's been fun.
How many are actually in the band? Because we only have 2 of the guys here today, obviously. But
well, there's 5 total.
There's gonna be there's 5 for the lineup. Basically, just 2 guitarists that do rhythm and lead back and forth.
Okay.
And bassist, and it's Brandon. He does backup vocals as well, like a good harmonizing vocals and whatnot. Me for the main vocalist and then a drummer.
Okay.
So it's pretty much a simple lineup.
Yeah. It's your old school lineup. Of course, some of them we're spread pretty far out, so it's easier for some to get here than it is for others.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you guys been playing any shows out lately, or looking at playing any shows in the future that you want to plug?
Not lately. We went through a drastic lineup change back in December-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of to this point where it's like my old bassist that co-wrote basically everything with me.
Mm-hmm.
He had left and wanted to do his own project, and I was like, cool, do your thing. Like, I respect it. You do what you want to do. Have a good time. But it also put me in the aspect where it was either let it die or build it back up. And essentially like that's where we are. Like we have, for the most part, had a full lineup now. We're learning the old material. We're actually got a studio recording here soon with Johnny Frank, and then once we get ready for pretty solid, we can start playing shows again pretty soon.
Yeah, just kind of laying the groundwork.
Yeah, we're hoping to be out there this summer. Like you said, we do have new music coming.
Yeah,
we're really excited for that. So we're just kind of trying to put things in a place where we can really let that music out as best as we can.
Yeah. What kind of platforms do you have your material, like your past material, on, where people could find you?
Basically everything.
Okay.
all the major like streaming, Apple, / iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, YouTube, pretty much. You name it, it's most likely there.
Yes,
Spotify.
We have our website, which we just got done. It's fine-tuning.
It's in the works.
It's literally done, other than it needs a couple photo replacements, because it was using our old promos essentially.
Okay.
And then just the payment option, which we just got enabled, and everything is good to go, one-stop shop kind of thing.
Right on.
Yeah.
So we'll put some links in the description so you can track these guys down if you want. I know this hasn't really been like a real long-term lineup so far, but like in the short time, have you guys had any fun times, goofy incidents, weird stuff happen?
Literally the first practice we had, we had a Nerf War.
Yeah.
There's a big old stack of Nerf guns in this house, and on the way out of the door, somebody picked one up and shots were fired.
Always that one guy.
I believe on our page there might actually be a clip of that particular.
There was a couple live videos of I think it was like individuals Snapchats and like Facebook Messenger videos. Yeah. It was definitely the funner of the times.
Yeah, we've definitely had fun just in the span of time, and me and Brian have been working together for a long time.
Yeah.
So we've got all kinds of crazy shenanigans going on.
Right.
But yeah, the Nerf gun fight was definitely. That turned into an hour long. People got hit,
just a brief thing.
People got hit in the eye.
I was leaving, but
you'd think getting shot at that by Nerf guns, like bullets for, an hour straight, let alone 20 minutes, you'd be like, okay, it's the same stuff, like I'm good. But no, like we kept going.
Starts getting serious.
It never ends.
We took every hit seriously. Like someone shot me and be like, I'm respawning and you're going down, bro.
Like, give me 10 seconds, I'm gonna get you.
Just wait until I'm in a safe area and I'm gonna come for you. Derek was hiding out in the kitchen. People were like, building barriers.
Oh my gosh.
It gets serious.
Escalating.
We take our
Even
Nerf
Benny
Wars
was
serious.
getting in on it and just shooting people down. It was great.
It's a 2-year-old. Don't move.
Yeah. Yeah. He got me pretty good in the face.
Yeah.
And I
Contrary to popular belief, Nerf darts do hurt a little.
Especially, I'm assuming the suction cup ones are the worst.
Oh man,
slap to it.
Yeah,
You get like the ones that shoot real hard and fast, and that hits you in the
Have some
face.
velocity.
That's where you spice the game up. Inside the tub of Nerf darts, there's like 3 to 5 solid ones. And nobody knows which ones those are. So, you might get hit with one, pick it back up, stick it in your gun, and...
Right, like, that was a good one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Be like, you know what? I just got a whoop from that. I'm going to use that for the next one here.
Somebody else deserves this.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it got out of control.
Yeah. I definitely would want to do that again, though. That's for sure. That was fun.
So how do you guys typically like write and practice? I know you've said that you're kind of like reworking or revisiting some of the old material. But are you like working on any new stuff in there, or is it just a bunch of like rehearsal to get things down?
Yeah. So I mean, before the lineup had that change, me and the old co-writer Matt Lehman, we basically had sat down and throughout the past couple of years we had made these songs, and we had the mindset that we weren't just going to make filler songs. Like we were going to make each individual one single worthy,
right? Able to stand on its own,
right? So that way, any song that they play first, because the music always has that first impression. You either hate it or you don't, So that way, if we had singles that were good enough, if not great, that people can listen to and be like, I like this, I'm gonna listen to the next one, and then potentially like it even more. You know what I mean? And that's the mindset. But we'd had it written for 2 years previously, roughly 1 to 2 years previously, and then when they left, a couple of members left. Essentially, we were kind of like 4 songs already written, and a couple were like in the works.
Yeah.
So I, just took the reins on that and ended up, kind of for the most part, they're finished and good to go.
Cool.
We just took the main core ideas that we had from it, structurally tweaked them a little bit, but for the most part, like they're ready.
Yeah. And as far as practice goes, we all, we practice by ourselves. We practice together. There's different things that we use, clicks and cues. To try and get used to kind of isolating yourself. So when you play it live, you're not necessarily reliant on somebody else hitting their cue.
Right. So somebody, spaces it or whatever.
Yeah.
You're not all lost.
Yeah. So it definitely helps in the aspect of being on time, because you're not necessarily on time with an inconsistent entity. You're on time with something that is consistent, even if the crowd can't hear it. It's kind of like training yourself. It becomes muscle memory, and then it's just a force of habit. When you're not on time, when something's off.
Right, because it just all starts to feel wrong.
Yeah, it just helps keep the show together a lot better.
Yeah.
It's definitely helps for versatility as far as practice goes, because then you're not fully reliant on everybody showing up if somebody's sick or somebody's car breaks down.
Right, if you only got 3 out of 5
you
dudes,
can
the whole
continue
day
to
is
practice
scrapped.
and continue to get that music down, because of course you can't play everything and you can't practice everything, but there are some things that you need to focus on.
Right.
A show is kind of an unpredictable scenario. You don't know what's going to happen.
Right, a lot of variables involved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's been fun. Yeah.
Right on.
But I mean, for the most part, like we get a good regimen going as far as like how we structure things, like social media wise, or which we're gonna be a little more active once we finalize a lot of the things we got going on.
Right.
But we're still trying to stay, at least a post once a week, like stuff like
Right,
that.
just kind of remind people, hey, we're still here.
Yeah, touch, even though we're going through lineup changes, like touch up on the good shows we've had, the moments where we've released something, or new shirts, or new whatever.
The highlights.
I mean, are we releasing that live video? Are we going to share that?
Yeah.
We have a live video of one of our songs that we're going to be sharing on our page that most people haven't seen.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It was done around 2 years ago that we recorded it, and for some odd reason, I don't know why, we didn't have it together back in the day as far as social media goes. We just, for some odd reason, never posted it. We posted on a personal YouTube channel, but nobody knew about that. So it was kind of like, it was more for us to see than them.
Right, just to put it somewhere.
Yeah, and it's like, some people would like to see that, so we want to put that out there,
Well, that's kind of where we're trying to come up, with the interviews. This is one more way that you guys can get out there, reach fans, and it's just one more tool.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Or even a building block for people that want to play music themselves. I think a lot of people that want to play music think that it's somewhere beyond their realm of capability, but it really isn't. It just takes time. There's a list of things, there's a set of steps that you have to do, and as long as you do those, you can be successful, you can have good quality music that people enjoy.
Right.
It's just a matter of following those steps the right way every time, and obviously that can be a little bit hard. Sometimes people make mistakes, sometimes things happen, but I don't think you should ever be afraid to ask somebody who knows, what should come next.
I know there's certain people who act like, they're outside like your bubble. I can't talk to them. They're not like real people.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I think some people get this like starstruck, like alienated feeling from some of the guys up on stage.
Yeah.
Where they don't want to talk to them like after they come down, because at the end of the day, we're just normal people. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. You still got to go home and face your family and the people in your town and things like that. So, maybe there are some people like that, but, for the most part, I think that, people in the music industry are more than willing to help. This setup that you guys have been doing for a while has been informative to me, and I've been playing music for 15 years. Wow, I never thought about that, or I never saw that. It's informative, even if someone is just looking at it to browse, they might happen upon something that could be useful to them in the future.
Right.
Yeah, makes sense.
Oh yeah, how do you guys go through your demos, recording, and EP type stuff?
Yes, so when we're writing everything, we have kind of, I wouldn't say it's a structure, but when we get these like really great ideas, we go through a set of pre-pro that we go through, where we lay down all the fundamental parts, and then we kind of like play it back to the point where we can tweak this or tweak that. And then, we take that into the studio with currently Johnny Frank. And the guy is an amazing producer and engineer. Like, the guy knows exactly what he's doing. He's working off a Mac that's like 2010 Mac, the same one that I have, and I couldn't do half the stuff that he does. And I mean, he's just been so knowledgeable and helpful as far as like, there's producers out there that you'd walk in, you pay thousands of dollars to. And they're great at what they do, but if they're not getting paid extra, they don't care about what they're doing. They don't
take the personal attention to your project.
He's involved in the quality of the production process, right? Which makes things sound a little bit more together,
right? And that little hint of his production tips or cues or anything like that, it really sets the music that one step higher, which was something that we really needed and wanted. Because these songs really, the last album, at the time, they meant a lot to us. Like the vocals, like how we felt, they portrayed it. And it's the same way this time around, and we want to be able to get the best emotional feeling out of those songs.
Right, you're not just writing to write and produce a bunch of filler. Right. It's like, this is real stuff that hits home.
Yeah. Right. And in this case, I mean, I feel that this next EP that we have is much more mature than the first one. Yeah. The topics are very serious. I feel like people will really relate to those. And so it's something that we want to be able to relay, through the production value of it.
Right, the music is kind of growing up with the rest of you.
Exactly, when we started playing music, we were just teenagers, and so you talk about the things that you think the teenagers
like that's what really matters, which, and the things that you have to deal with.
Boils down to women,
a lot of girl problems and things of that nature,
and frustrations.
Right.
As you get older, you realize that there's a very, we live in a very interesting time.
Yeah, there's a lot more out there than your angsty personal problems.
And there's a lot more serious problems at hand that maybe play into the things of your juvenile.
Right, why things were the way they were.
Right.
Yeah. So I think this kind of addresses that.
Yeah.
I really feel like it does. There are a couple songs that we have right now that really hit home for me, that it's important to me that people understand the scenario,
right.
And the mindset that exists when that song was written.
Okay.
So that's kind of where we're at now, and I think that people will really see how it's changed.
Yeah. I mean, anybody that was a Kill the Lights fan back from the Safe and Sound album, and they hear this new album when we release it, they'll know immediately that, like, this is, I wouldn't say Safe and Sound 2.0, but, like, there's a huge night and day difference on the feel of the album, like, and how it portrays those emotions. So I feel like people are going to really, like, cling to it, like, really well. So it's
good.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, definitely. And we mess around with a lot of things, the way that, intros and outros go. We tried different breakdown assortments.
Right, like how you're really, like, fitting all the puzzle pieces together.
Yeah. So we kind of try and keep our options open. I know we have a few options for a few songs that we're like, hey, what's going to fit here better? What do we have?
Yeah. And you never really know until you really sit down and actually record in the studio and see what makes most sense.
Right, that's what I always think is the interesting thing, because it's like everybody can be jamming it out, think, oh, this is like the greatest song we've ever put together. Then you start putting it together, like, in recording format, and you listen back to it, it's like, oh, wow, what if I change that? Yeah. Or, like, what if we did this instead? It's like, that sounds really weird now that I can not play it and not have to think about it at the same time. Like, let's do this different.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So... yeah, it's gonna be fun. Johnny is a really talented dude. If I know that anybody in this industry can take us to the place where we want to be right now with the album, it's gonna be that.
Well, because if you're not working with the right guy, it's kind of hard to get communicated what you're picturing, because he's coming from outside. Most of the time when somebody's recording an album, they have no idea what the hell you're going for.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. It's just because this is all the music that you guys have been hearing, but they have no way of understanding what you're trying to convey to everybody else.
Yeah. That's definitely that's a whole nother topic, I think, because obviously you have people who produce their own music. Johnny Frank is a great example of that. Caleb Shomo. There are a lot of guys out there who are producing their own music, and that kind of leaves you thinking, how do you have an outside perspective?
Right, it's kind
to
of
what works best compared to what your generalizations.
It's almost
are.
like they're so good at what they do that their pre-pro is the actual production.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? There's no final inspection. It's just like, here's the product, go for it.
There's no second takes though, but they're like, while they're writing it, that's
like, this is what I want it to sound like. Yeah. This is how it is.
They know what they want. And that's an interesting place to be, because I know personally, like, I've been to the, what do we do from here? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. But you show it to someone like Johnny Frank, and they'll go, well, you should do this.
Right, and kind of gives it the direction where it's like, well, we could do this or this or this, but it's like, well, that one's going to be the best.
Yeah. So it's definitely good to have a little bit of outside direction.
Right.
But of course, there are people out there who don't necessarily
have the same vision, or in that case, it's don't need it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is there anything else you guys wanted to touch on, talk about, or?
Honestly, this is so corny. I swear to God. This is going to be the dumbest thing. But to the people that have actually listened to us and gone to our shows, because we played, I would say 20 plus shows in the past couple of years. To the people that have actually come to the shows, it literally means, and I don't think people really realize it, but it means, and this is so cliche, but the world to us, because, I miss playing shows. I'm to the point where, I've been in a recording studio so long that I'm itching to play a show, but, to see people whenever we got on stage and to see the reactions to our music in such a positive light. And even if it's not positive, I like to talk to people about how they feel about
it. Get feedback.
But I love the feedback that we've been getting and the shows we've been playing. And, to the people that they're still interested in hearing what we got, the next album, that one's for you, But yeah, It's going to be fun.
Well, because the interesting thing about, what you guys do and what bands do as a whole is it's completely dependent on the fans.
Right.
If you don't have people that are interested in what you're putting out, you literally can't do it. If people aren't willing to come out to shows or, they're not willing to buy the CD and they'd rather just, steal it basically.
Yeah.
That's like, you guys can't make a living. You can't make any more music. It's dead.
Yeah, definitely. And Columbus has been a pretty good place as far as support goes.
Yeah.
Of course, there's Bravo.
Yeah.
Bravo's been very,
awesome.
very, very important.
They're helpful guys.
In the progression of Kill the Lights.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of other local bands that you've been in, bands, other local bands like That Ship Sailed and, Absolute Hero.
New Age.
The New Age,
Well, they're bridging that gap now to like not local anymore, which I'm so proud of Justin and them.
It's always nice to see somebody break out.
Yeah. So, I guess really, it's important to keep going to those local shows and keep listening to those guys.
Right, because it pays off eventually. Yeah. And it's like one day, you have that local band that you've been seeing for years and years, and all of a sudden they're on tour. And then after that, they're touring with a national act. And then they're hitting like overseas, and it's just like, whoa, I used to see those guys.
Definitely.
5 other people in the room and getting $1 beers or whatever.
Or even, in my musical career, people that I've seen pass by, Sirens and Sailors.
Yeah.
They weren't that big of a band. They were out of New York. They're coming. They're they're playing all these little bar shows. Now all of a sudden they're at Warped Tour. They're on national
just blowing up.
Yeah, they're doing great.
Yeah.
So it's really awesome to be a part of that too, because then you're a part of that. They know you. You know them.
Right.
They recognize you when you see them again.
Yeah. Without the scene when we started out, we would definitely not be because. We wouldn't be in a good place because when we started out, we were going through Bravo artists. We would beg like Corey Haid and everybody to like let us be on like just the simplest local shows.
Right.
And then it got to the point where we were like doing sold out shows for like 10-year anniversary, tours for like Red Jumpsuit or like, they had like Escape the Fate, we just did like Moss to Flames and Issues. Like we got to the point where our fans have been so supportive that through the ticket sales that we've been able to get from the our loyal fans, it's put us in a better light for Bravo. And it's just that constant like, overwhelming feeling like we wouldn't be there without them.
Right. Somebody wants you there, so you get to be there.
Right. And we've even gotten to the point where like now people are like we've had talk of labels like trying to nothing really set in stone, but we've had the talk, and like 3-4 years ago we would have never even thought that existed.
Consideration.
It's crazy, but it's like it all comes down to the fans, because since day one, if the fans didn't like our music, we wouldn't have played the shows we did. So it's amazing. It's awesome. So
well, sounds like you guys are definitely moving in a forward direction then.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, this has been Gear Time with Bands and Kill the Lights. All right. Well, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
See you later.